Are you ready?
Hey guys, this is Chris on the Expect. You know, I actually wanted to avoid doing this video more than a number of my past reviews. You can probably tell by the thumbnail, or even the title. Because Pokemon Generation 3 is honestly my favorite generation. It gets some flack, I guess you could call it, from a number of people because reasons, but I'm sorry. I love it. I love it so much. I love Gen 3. When the Hoenn remakes were announced, I lost my shit. I lost my shit. And then I had to go find my shit because, you know, I need that shit to play Pokemon Ruby. Omega Ruby. I lost with the stuff, basically. But I'm really gonna hurt doing this. Gen 3 is my favorite gen. It is practically my childhood. And all the ROM hacks I played are all based on Gen 3 ROMs for the most part. And still, it is my childhood for the most part. Granted, it came out when I was entering prepubescent adolescence, but it was still, in a way, my childhood. Well, even then, there were problems with it. Although it was a struggle to find the footage that were for each problem. This is the top 10 things wrong with Pokemon Generation number 3. Let's get this over with. Number 10. This is first on the list because of, well, I just didn't really see much wrong with it. Well, I'm sure you will anyway. Basically, your mom in this game loves you, right? Enough to treat you like a careless FedEx package in the back of a goddamn U-Haul! Yeah, people saw this as a bit of poor parenting on their part. But did you ever wonder? Did you ever wonder what it would be like to ride in that part of a truck? Actually, now that I think about it, I predict a lot of bodily harm and injuries. No wonder people didn't think this was okay. Still, putting it at number 10. Seriously, why did you put me in the back of a fucking truck? I could have been injured or killed. Number 9. I plan to mention the Mount Chimney incident involving Team Aqua and how I thought it wasn't a big issue since it seemed halting the volcanic activity to turn it into Hoenn's variation of the Lake of Rage wouldn't have any consequences. Then I realized someone on Tumblr who was an environmental enthusiast would have had my head. So, natures. Natures aren't all that bad, to be honest. They're interesting in that they have little stat buffs, usually at the expense of another stat being slightly lower. The problem with natures is though what came with it, that being EVs. Apparently, they were desired along with shinies and such with breeding. Seriously, I hoped to not bring this up again from last time, but it's a different topic, so in a way, it's still able to be put on a list. Honestly, I will never understand why people would breed thousands of Pokemon for one of a specific nature, EVs, IVs, shinies, gender, foot size, hair color, preference of clam chowder, favorite movie, sexual fetish. Actually, I think I transitioned into questions I would ask for a possible girlfriend. Minus the clam chowder and foot size bit. Moving on. Number 8. Oh man, I'm gonna go get myself a bicycle. Bicycle, I want to ride my... Oh my god, there is 2. Holy shit, that's awesome! Oh. I can only have one of it at a time. And I need to come back for the other one and swap it out if I come across an area requiring a bike that I don't have. Cool. Okay, this was bullshit. Yeah, it's awesome to have 2 different bikes, but the fact that we couldn't have them both at once to be sure to traverse every path was tedious and very complicated. Nobody asked you! Number 7. We got more runaways this gen! It's version exclusive, of course. Ruby has Latios, I believe I got that right. Sapphire has Latias. Or if you had Emerald, you had a choice of what color the Pokemon was. After hours, painstaking hours, trying to find it, trying to just catch it so you can do it, and it's like, oh my god, you found it. After you so much searching, you finally found... Fucking Christmas! Well, at least the Pokedex makes it easier. Number 6. The other one, on the other hand, is complicated. In order to get the other Lati Pokemon, Latios or Latias, without trading, you needed an Eon ticket. How did you get this Eon ticket, you may ask? Well, sure, selling through cheat codes. I tried that. Didn't work. Nope. You have to have an e-reader and the actual card to scan into the game. I'm not kidding. This was how events worked back in the day. Granted, events were a lot harder even before then, but this is still pretty tedious, especially if the card ends up being damaged. They were limited and near impossible to attain. This one was bull. I'm legit surprised that Chugga Conroy, as his footage is pictured here, go ahead and check him out, he's very awesome, managed to do it in his Emerald Let's Play. I think he also mentioned the card working only 3 times, so... that's bullcrap. Number 5. There are abilities that just plain suck. There's good ones like Levitate, which prevented ground moves from hitting the Pokemon because they, usually float. Except Magnemite and his family floats, you never got the cat treatment like, really? It floats above the ground using magnetism. What more do you fucking want? Why is it available and to just levitate and fucking sky bells? Okay, calm down. And then there's bullshit ones. Granted, Truant fits Pokemon like Slacking and helps moderate how fucking powerful this Pokemon really is. And then there's Trace. I do not care for this ability. When trying to catch a Ralts, I go out of my way to find one with Synchronized, because fuck Trace. Oh, that's right, I forgot about one other one. Lightning Rod also was a poor ability back in the day. After Gen 3, it got a modification in which it gave you a stat boost if you were hit with an electric attack. I believe it was speed. But this Lightning Rod was literally just a Lightning Rod. It worked only in dodgeable battles, still had you take damage depending on the Pokemon that had Lightning Rod, and was just pointless. So I got an Electrike with Static. I love this thing. Number 4. There once was a rumor where if you continuously talked to one of the scientists in Moss Deep Space Center, they'd mention multiple rocket launches, and by the 100th one, they'd send you to space to find the Axis. At the time, the internet was not very reliable, so people actually tried this and thought it would work. And of course, it didn't, because, it was just a rumor. Others felt it was too tedious and took too much time. Really? Really? And, spending weeks missing your important dates like birthdays and, spending time with grandkids and spending weeks and weeks and weeks to get a shiny with X Nature and such is perfectly acceptable, you fucking hypocritical pieces of... Calm down. Calm down. Come on, it's just a list. You don't need to worry about it. Basically, point being, it was a rumor, and it sucked. This rumor had no real clarification behind it. Although I will give points to Nintendo in a way acknowledging this rumor by actually making it a thing to go into space and get the Axis in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Seriously, props to them for doing that. It's like they heard the rumor and thought, we could actually do that. So they did it. Seriously, it's still awesome either way. Number 3. You probably noticed that I've been grasping at straws for this list, and in a way you're right. Ooh, excuse me. Anyway, remember the day-night cycle in Gold Silver Crystal? Yeah, none of that here. You have a clock, but all it was for berry growing and tides for Shoal Cave to get a Shoal Salt and Shoal Shell for a Shell Bell. This resulted in the game feeling like such a fucking downgrade compared to Gold Silver Crystal. I mean, why have the clock when it is mostly useless? In fact, I don't think there's a way to change the clock for daylight savings time. Actually, let me check. Nope, no way to change the clock. Good going, Game Freak. Fucking really. Number 2. I wanted to keep this off the list because of the fact that it never bothered me, and because IGN is full of fucking pricks. But I'm grasping at straws, people will point this out, so... yeah. Remember when that text earlier pointed out that how I was okay with swapping between Dive and Waterfall for my wall rain? Yeah, that was actually a problem with having 8 HMs. But it wasn't so much that it was 8 HMs being the issue, as 4th Gen did that alright. It was the fact that 3 of the HMs were for water Pokemon. Surf, Waterfall, and Dive. Surf was pretty much required for this region, and people didn't want to have 3 HM moves on their water Pokemon. So constant trips to Lily Cove were a must to delete the HM moves. People saw it as pretty tedious and annoying to do. There, I put it in. It doesn't even deserve the number 2 spot. Why did I even bother with this? Why? Calm down, Sean. You just got one more. Itchy nose. And this one's a doozy. And the number 1 thing that was so wrong with Pokemon Generation 3 is Feebas. Let me just break this down for you. This fucking Raggedy Ann fish was the bane of anyone wanting to complete the Pokedex, and I mean the bane. This Pokemon was only found in 5 spots in the entire river on Route 119, and even then, it wasn't very common. It wasn't even determined which rod you needed the most. It was just saying as not very common at all, perhaps really rare. It is random each time, and from what I looked up, changes every single day. The only way to manually change it is to change the trendy phrase in Doofertown. But even then, good fucking luck finding this little shit. Even then, it is a pain to raise and evolve. You have to feed it blue Pokeblocks, but you had to also max out its beauty. The problem was, however, that it could get full when a stars fill full circle on the screen. It can no longer eat any Pokeblocks, so you have to make sure you got the right berries to make the special kind of blue Pokeblocks. The stronger kind, the one that increased the beauty more than regular blue Pokeblocks. However, the berries you needed to make them were extra rare, and you had to go out of your way to get the berries so you can make the better Pokeblocks to feed it to the Feebas to help it evolve into a Milotic. And this was such a fucking hassle, I screamed all the time! I also remember when a friend told me in school that they caught a Feebas. She then told me she released it because she didn't know why it was so weak or what the point of having it was because she couldn't figure out how to evolve it. To this day, I question why I was still friends with her after that because this shit was impossible! Impossible! And that is why Feebas is the number 1 thing wrong with Pokemon Gen 3. You know, I'm pretty sure they ended up channeling both the Joker from The Dark Knight and Dean Ambrose in that one. Well, there you have it. I finally did it. Top 10 list of things wrong with Generation 3 of Pokemon. But this doesn't mean it's a bad gen. It really is a good gen. To be honest, natures and EVs and also, like, abilities, that was really innovative for the time. Granted, it had no new types, but still, that was innovation. Yeah, I know, innovation in a Pokemon game. You can keep your COD comments to yourself. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta deal with something. The living dead just consumed my next door acquaintances in the room in the apartment down the way.